It was just past 3 p.m. on a humid summer afternoon in Seoul, but inside the Crystal Ballroom of the Lotte Hotel, the air was cool, tense, and pulsing with anticipation. Rows of reporters from across South Korea and Asia had packed into the gleaming room, each armed with cameras, microphones. Urgent curiosity, an exclusive press invitation, cryptic and bold, had summoned them all. Nam Ji-hyun to make a personal statement. July 22, 2025, 3 p.m. Crystal Ballroom. No other details were provided, not even her agency offered comment. The only thing certain was that this was no ordinary media event. Under the chandeliers, whispers filled the space like static electricity. Would it be a new drama? A brand partnership? A health announcement? Or, what everyone quietly suspected, something about Chang Wook. The actor himself had been spotted earlier in the hotel lobby, casually dressed in a soft navy blazer and white shirt, politely nodding to fans but offering no hints. His presence alone ignited speculation, yet nothing could prepare the audience for what was to come. When the doors opened and Nam Ji-hyun entered, time felt suspended. She wasn't dressed like a woman arriving to promote a drama or smile for brand photos. She wore a pale cream suit, elegant but understated, her long hair softly curled, minimal makeup highlighting a face filled with calm yet palpable emotion. She didn't pose for the cameras. She simply walked to the podium, paused, scanned the room as if gathering the courage to share something sacred. The clattering of camera shutters halted. You could hear someone shift in their chair near the back. Then she spoke. "I asked you here today. Not as Nam Ji-hyun the actress, but as someone who's been holding onto something personal for far too long. I'm here because I want to tell the truth, not just to all of you, but to him. For the first time, I want to share why I fell for Chang Wook." The room gasped. Audible, collective. Some hands froze mid-typing. A few journalists exchanged stunned looks. Others just stared, unsure if they had heard correctly. But she didn't waver. Her eyes flicked toward the front row, where Chang Wook sat, frozen, lips parted slightly, as though holding his breath. It was a scene no one could have written better, not even the finest K-drama screenwriters. This was real. Nam Ji-hyun continued, her voice steady but layered with emotion. It's not something that happened in a single moment. It wasn't fireworks or magic or anything dramatic. At first, it was quiet. He made space for me when I didn't even know I needed it. Behind the podium, a slight tremor passed through her hands. She smiled, not to the cameras, but to herself, perhaps remembering something that the public had never seen. A moment never captured. We first met while filming Suspicious Partner in 2017. You all remember the rumors, the questions. Yes, we had chemistry. Yes, we became close. Nothing happened back then. Not publicly. And not privately, at least not in the way you think. He paused again, letting the silence fill the gaps where curiosity roared. Then she gently added, but something started. Described late nights on set, when the cameras stopped rolling but their conversations didn't. She shared how Chang Wook would bring her hot coffee between takes, or cover her with his coat when the wind turned too cold on the rooftop scenes. She said he never once made a move. Never crossed a line, never pressured. He was simply there, steady, respectful. And I never forgot that. She spoke. Chang Wook sat motionless in the front row, but his eyes were red now, misted with emotion. A flicker of a smile tugged at the corner of his lips, not for the cameras, but just for her. "I didn't fall in love with a star," Nam Ji-hyun said, voice cracking slightly. "I fell for a man who showed up for me when the world was loud and he stayed quiet, who looked at me like I was whole when I didn't feel that way myself." By now, tissues had emerged among the press, even veteran journalists, those who had covered scandals, political feuds, and endless award ceremonies, found themselves dabbing at their eyes. The story she told next changed the mood from romantic to quietly devastating. In 2023, Nam Ji-hyun revealed, she went through what she called a hidden crisis, an undisclosed family emergency that pulled her away from the public eye for several months. She didn't explain the full details but said, "It was the loneliest time of my life. I wanted to disappear, and no one knew. Except him. She described how Chang Wook didn't text with pity or concern. Instead, and her daily sunrise photos from wherever he was shooting, sometimes with no words, sometimes with the single sentence, "You're stronger than you think." He never asked for attention, never pushed. He just stayed. Paused, eyes brimming now, and I realized, that's love, that quiet presence, that faith. Her voice finally broke as she added, "Gave me light when I forgot I had any." It was then that Chang Wook stood, without hesitation. He walked up to the stage, not to take the spotlight, but to stand beside her. The press fell silent again. Cameras clicked furiously, but neither of them seemed to notice. He took the mic from her gently and turned to the crowd, voice low and thick with emotion. "I didn't know she was going to say all of that," he said, half laughing, half crying. "I thought I was here for a brand event, but I guess I was wrong." Laughter rippled through the room. It was the release everyone needed. Then he turned back to her and said softly, "You think I gave you strength, Hyun, but you saved me too." His gaze didn't waver as he addressed the room. "In 2021, I went through something dark. Professionally and personally, I lost faith in my work, in myself. But then she called me out of the blue one day, just to check on me. Just to ask, 'Are you eating well?' That was all, but it grounded me. Voice brought me back." They stood side by side now, not as celebrities but as two people who had finally peeled back every layer of distance between them. "This love wasn't sudden," Chang Wook continued. "It was built slowly, gently, like water shaping stone. And today, I want to say what I've been waiting years to say." He turned to her, eyes locked. "I love you." The room erupted. Journalists clapped, not in forced politeness but in something closer to awe. A few wiped away tears, shook their heads in disbelief, murmuring that they'd never seen anything like this. But the moment wasn't about them. It wasn't even about the fans. It was just two people, no longer hiding behind characters or contracts. As the microphones were lowered and the couple stood side by side, they bowed deeply together, a gesture of humility, of thanks, of beginning. The rest of the event flowed more like a celebration than a press conference. There was no media Q&A, commercial pitch, just love, witnessed. The reactions were immediate and overwhelming. Within 15 minutes, hashtags like #Hyun confession, #Chang Wook love, and #Chang Real trended globally on Twitter and TikTok. Korean news outlets pushed breaking headlines, "It's real. Hyun and Chang Wook confirm relationship and emotional confession." Dispatch posted an exclusive slideshow of their hand-holding exit from the event. Fans began to refer to it as the decade drama came to life. And yet, the story was far from over. Backstage, moments after the event concluded, a scene unfolded that no camera caught. Chang Wook leaned close and whispered something to Hyun that made her laugh through her tears. Then she reached into her blazer and pulled out a handwritten letter, folded, aged at the edges, clearly well kept. She handed it to him silently. Later, it was revealed to media through a close friend that this letter had been written in 2023, during her time of crisis. It read, "If someday I can say it without fear, I'll tell the world it was always you." They both knew this day was coming, the world just didn't. And asked backstage why she chose now, Hyun said simply, "Because I was tired of pretending this wasn't the most important thing in my life." As reporters begged for more details, the couple retreated into a quiet room. But later that evening, a joint statement was released by their agencies. Chang Wook and Hyun are in a committed relationship. Their love grew slowly over time and with deep respect for one another. "We ask for continued support and privacy as they begin this new chapter." The confirmation did not stop the whirlwind. Within 24 hours, international media picked up the story. Variety, Vogue, and the New York Times ran stories under titles like "K-Drama Turns Real. Hyun and Chang Wook's love story melts the internet." An age of scandals, this was something else entirely. Something tender. Something true. When asked by a fan during an Instagram live if they were planning marriage, Hyun laughed. her hair behind her ear, and said, "We're not rushing, we're just being." And that, more than anything, was the beauty of it. Dramatic engagement rings. No flashbulbs on a beach. Just a confession. Just love, shared, unshaken, and finally,